A warm welcome to all of you for my lecture on consumer behavior. My name is D.R.L. Sharma. I'm going to give a lecture on consumer behavior now. My qualifications are MTech in robotics, MBA in finance and marketing, and now I'm pursuing PhD in management. So basically, we will discuss about what is the consumer behavior. In this, we are talking about the introduction part. The starting point for understanding consumer behavior is the stimulus response model. So how can we understand the consumer behavior? Because the consumer behavior is a very complex thing. But today he might have a different set of tastes and preferences. Tomorrow he may have different set of tastes and preferences. So they are changing. The consumer tastes and preferences are changing, as well as the behavior is getting changed. How this behavior can be influenced, and understanding the behavior of the consumer, how can a marketer change his marketing strategy? These are all very important from the point of view of the consumer. That means, so the marketer has to understand how consumer has been changing his behavior and predict the behavior, and based on that he should make a sale. That is the purpose of learning consumer behavior by a marketer. So starting point for understanding consumer behavior is the stimulus response model. Right. Next point is marketing and environmental stimulus enter the consumer consciousness. The important point is consciousness. Marketing and environmental stimulus. What enters into the consumer consciousness? Marketing and environmental stimulus. What they do? They enter into the consumer consciousness. A set of psychological processes combined with certain consumer characteristics to result in decision process and purchase decision. So ultimately, what is of more importance to the marketer? It is the consumer has to purchase the product. So the purchase has to go on. Purchase has to take place. Similarly, he has to influence all the steps through the decision process. Whatever steps are involved in the decision process of a consumer, a marketer has to influence that. So to influence that, he has to understand the decision-making process as well. Look at the stimulus response. So starting with marketing stimuli, other stimuli, and in between we have consumer psychology and consumer characteristic, and then we have buyer's decision process and buyer's decision. So what are the marketing stimuli? So product, price, place, promotion. What are they? They are the 4 P's of marketing. So product and services, price, place, promotion, they are marketing stimuli. Other stimuli, what are the various other stimuli? Economic factors, technological factors, political, cultural. They are the other stimuli which are other than marketing stimuli. Now, here is the important point. You look at the consumer psychology. What are the steps in the consumer psychology? Motivation, perception, personality, learning, memory, attitude. So these have to be influenced. These consumer psychology has to be influenced so that the consumer goes for a particular purchase, and he goes throughout his decision process. If he is influenced properly, he will go for a particular purchase of a product. Similarly, on the below side, you have consumer characteristics. What are the various consumer characteristics? They are cultural, social, personal. So characteristics may be based on culture in which they are, based on the social stratification in which they are, based on the personality of they have. So based on personal features also, this will vary. Now next is buyer's decision process. Buyer's decision process is, there are steps in buyer's decision process. They are problem recognition, information set, evaluation of alternatives, purchase decision, post-purchase behavior. Similarly, buyer's decision. This decision process consists of problem recognition, information search, evaluation of alternatives, purchase of goods, and post-purchase behavior. This is buyer's decision process. But what about the buyer's decision? That is about buyer takes decision about product choice, brand choice, dealer choice, purchasing time, purchasing amount, payment method. So these are the decisions, buyer's decisions. Right? Clear it up to here? Yeah, you can see the stimulus response model like this also. Stimuli to transformer, transformer to responses. What are the stimuli? Marketing mix. That is product, price, place, and promotion. Similarly, what are the other external influences? Cultural, social, economic, and technology. So in the transformer, we talk about the black box, buyer's mind. In the buyer's mind, there are internal influences on one side and decision-making processes of other side. What are the internal influences? Psychological, attitude, learning, motives, perception, personality. And in the decision-making process, problem solving, information search, alternate evaluation, purchase, post-purchase evaluation, etc. Now coming to the response. Response may be purchase or no purchase. So if it is purchase, then what he purchases about product, brand, source, amount, payment. So the very, very important model in consumer behavior is stimulus response model. By understanding this, we understand the consumer behavior to a greater extent. So marketer's task. Now coming to the actual point, what is the task of the marketer? The marketer's task is to understand what happens in the consumer consciousness, very important point. What happens in the consumer consciousness between the arrival of outside marketing stimuli and the ultimate purchase decision. What goes on in the mind of the customer or goes on in the mind of the consumer between the arrival of outside marketing stimuli like marketing mix and cultural, social, and all this we have seen in the stimulus and marketing stimuli and the ultimate purchase decision like buyer's decision. Before taking a buyer's decision and before and after marketing stimuli, what steps are involved? What happens in the consumer consciousness? That is what we are about to study. We have to study what we have to study as a marketer. So there are four key psychological processes. They are motivation, perception, learning, and attitude. We will learn about motivation in this lecture. These psychological factors are like this: motivation, perception, learning, attitudes, and beliefs. What is motivation? A person has many needs at a given time, right? You have many needs. Needs are many and the resources are scarce. It is an economic problem also. A person has many needs at a given time. Some needs are biogenic, meaning they arise from physiological states of tension, such as hunger, thirst, or discomfort. So some of the needs are biogenic. The meaning of that is they arise from physiological states of tension, such as hunger, thirst, or discomfort. Others are psychogenic, meaning they arise from psychological states of tension, such as the need for recognition, esteem, or belongingness. So the needs are not only physiological, they are psychological also. What are these psychological needs? They are need for recognition, esteem, or belongingness. A need becomes a motive when it rises to a sufficient level of intensity. Very important point. A need becomes a motive when it rises to a sufficient level of intensity. A motive is a need that is sufficiently pressing to drive the person to act. Motivation. Two best known theories of motivation, often known as need-based theories of motivation, are Abraham Maslow's need hierarchy theory, Herzberg's two-factor theory. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Human needs are arranged in a hierarchy from the most pressing to the least pressing. So he said the needs can be arranged in a hierarchy. In order of importance, they are physiological needs, safety needs, social needs, self-esteem needs, and self-actualization needs. So below the pyramid, you have physiological needs, and then upon that you have safety needs, and upon that you have social needs, upon that you have self-esteem needs, and upon that you have self-actualization needs. People try to satisfy their most important need first. When a person succeeds in satisfying an important need, he or she will then try to satisfy the next important needs. So the Maslow tried to say that basically everybody will try to satisfy the physiological needs. But once these needs are satisfied, then they will try to satisfy the higher level of needs, such as security needs. Similar, and another important point to be noted here is when a person is trying to satisfy his social needs in a job, but suddenly he lost a job, and then what he will think about? He will not think about social needs. Again, he will come back to the lower of the pyramid and he will think about physiological needs. That is minimum salary, minimum household expenses should be taken care of like this. He will think about basic lower level of needs. So that's what important point we have to note in this, because even though you arrange a hierarchy, sometimes people come down the hierarchy again and they will again try to go up in the hierarchy. That is what he mentioned. He mentioned that in a hierarchy you can arrange the needs. When a person succeeds in satisfying an important need, he or she will then try to satisfy the next important needs. Look at this figure. So this is a pyramid, and here you have biological and psychological needs, safety needs, love or belonging needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization as you go up the pyramid. So biological and psychological needs and safety needs are considered as basic needs here. On the right side of it, they have given this point, right side of the pyramid. So they have given basic needs. Love, belongingness needs, and the esteem needs are considered as psychological needs. Self-actualization is considered as self-fulfillment needs. So at each and every step, how will you satisfy these? How will you satisfy the what managers can infer from this, and what managers can take measures to achieve this? That is at the lower level of needs. Biological and psychological, you have to give food, sleep, water, they must be provided with all this. At the security needs, security, health, finances, these must be taken care of. At the love and belongingness, friendship, intimacy, family, connections, etc., they must be taken care of. Esteem, respect, status, recognition, strength, and self-esteem. Self-actualization, meeting one's full potential in life, different for every person. Right? Now coming to another important theory, Herzberg's two-factor theory. Frederick Herzberg developed a two-factor theory that distinguishes dissatisfiers and satisfiers. Dissatisfiers are those factors whose absence cause dissatisfaction. Satisfiers are those factors whose presence cause satisfaction. Very important point. I am repeating again. Dissatisfiers are those factors whose absence cause dissatisfaction. Like salary is a factor whose level of salary is not up to the mark, it causes dissatisfaction. But if the salary is up to the mark and you are not treated properly, you are not treated as a human being, you are treated as a machine, then even the salary will not satisfy you. So dissatisfaction can be eliminated with the help of salary, but for the satisfaction, you have to rely upon various other factors. That is, satisfiers are those factors whose presence cause satisfaction. The absence of dissatisfiers is not enough. Satisfiers must be present to motivate your purchase. Herzberg's theory has two implications. The seller should do their best to avoid the dissatisfiers. So the seller should identify the major satisfier or motivator of purchase in the market and then supply them. For example, you are purchasing a laptop and that laptop has no after sales service. So will you purchase that product? So that is a hygiene factor. That's a basic factor. Dissatisfier. The lack of after sales service is a dissatisfaction to the consumer. So he will never consider it at all. Consider that brand for purchase. So this is a dissatisfier. You have to take care of this need. Seller should identify the major satisfier or motivator of purchase in the market and then supply them. So another point is the seller should identify the major satisfier. What is the major satisfier? Like for the laptop, the various speed of the and speed and memory, like this, they will affect the purchase in the market, and market has to supply these features. Supply, okay. Now coming to the important diagram. See here, hygiene factors, which are at the lower level of the lower level of the diagram. Hygiene factors, no dissatisfaction and dissatisfaction. So if hygiene factors are not properly given, it leads to dissatisfaction. But if they are properly given, that leads to no dissatisfaction. But you cannot say once the dissatisfaction is taken care of, then satisfaction is obtained. No. First, the dissatisfaction should be eliminated, and then you come to the stage of no dissatisfaction. Then comes motivators. From no satisfaction phase to the satisfaction phase, motivators will take care of. So this is very important to understand because very basic features must be definitely provided. On that, you increase the number of motivators, then the product will be successful. But the basic factors have to be there. The basic dissatisfaction of the consumer must be addressed properly. And then you increase the number of motivators so that you will remain competitive in the market. Okay, thank you. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for this lecture. And in case you have any queries, please mail us at sramalingeswara82@gmail.com. Thanks for listening to me. I hope you have enjoyed the lecture, and I hope this lecture is useful to you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.